Welcome. Continuous Outrage episode
37.
Oh my god, I gained a lisp. Episode 37.
What up, Fish? He got here quick.
What up? Oh my god, remember there was a time where if he was on time, it was apocalyptic?
I do remember that. He was like, dang it, I missed it again.
We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to get into
Episode
401ks. We talked about 401ks and all that crap before you were on the show, Tony.
I think it was like the week before.
The week
or something.
before?
Yeah.
That's you're adding too many numbers in there. It's just 40K.
40K.
Yeah, you had an extra number there.
So, yeah, I mean, we definitely need to talk about Adepticon. We got to talk about that Keeper of Secrets model.
It's so
Who was
beautiful.
right last week? Who was right with their prediction?
I don't remember. I said Chaos Sorcerer, so I wasn't right.
You were way wrong.
I was way wrong.
I didn't think that was happening.
It was. They released a Chaos model. That's a Psyker.
I called it on Legion, on Clone Wars getting announced.
I didn't think that would get announced.
And I'm so happy about it. Like that
looks
There's
cool.
a lot
They
of
look
excitement.
beautiful.
Those clone troopers look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Did you
Are you
read
gonna
the-
play them?
I might. I need an army that has good troops after playing
Well,
Rebels.
I'll tell you what, that is.
and
that is
that looks like an army that has good troops.
Oh yeah,
well,
no,
they
they're
said
gonna be
their
awesome.
core troopers are the best in the game.
Well, yeah, they
that's what it looks
they have
like.
red defense die. They hit on blacks.
Yeah,
They,
they don't
um,
have any surges. They don't have any hit surges, which I was hoping they would have. But
Do rebels have hit surges?
Yeah.
Or the rebel troop? They do?
they have hit surges.
Wait,
so-
Rebel troopers do?
Yeah, they have hit surges.
I thought they
don't.
have a
Oh, they
defensive
have
surge.
defense surge.
Excuse
But
me.
they hit on they have
Stormtroopers.
black.
Yeah, but they
Stormtroopers
shoot
have hit
just
surge.
as good as clone troopers.
Yeah, but you can
We
you
gotta
can
have
supporting
a
fire. With
Yeah, I know
the
that's
clone
that's
troopers.
what makes them
That-
really good.
Yeah.
is
I
that
think that's
supporting fire
really
rule.
cool. The droids have
Might be too good.
the
That's a
droids
good
have,
rule.
well, it's only 1-to-1.
Yeah, no, I know.
So like, but you can double up though.
yeah, well,
You can get a dice pool of
One-
over 20 dice.
But it has to be at the same unit too.
Yeah,
So it
well,
could
but
be
one-
That's a
potentially
dead
overkill.
unit.
But one of the things about Legion that helps balance it out is its alternate activation. So that means
Right,
that
and you're
usually
kind of-
means only one unit is shooting one unit at one time. But in this case, you can have two units shooting one
And
unit.
we've seen a little bit of it limited, where you can break that with the Rebels, because Leia's got a command card where you can activate 2.
after
at
well,
one time.
it's a little different. It's not activating two. What it is after her activation, you can activate a trooper. But what she's going to do significantly less than what a trooper unit does.
Well, sure, you're not
she
doubling
might
up
just shoot.
2.
She might just shoot a couple black dice at what
Right.
you got. She's not going to do that much. But being able to add all your weapons, your heavy weapons, and whatever rules apply to those to your current attack pool is going to make it so you can double the punishing power of one attack.
No, I love
and
it. And we don't know what the other special weapons are either, because don't they have a rocket? Or do they just have the Z6?
One's a machine gun, so one's your DLT. So
yeah, they
it's-
have
it's-
like a rotary cannon, like the
and
rebels.
then
That's a
the
Z6.
other one's a Z6.
Z6,
So
okay.
it's going to be 6 white dice. And the other one's a DLT, but instead of impact, it's got critical. And I don't know exactly what critical does yet. I know
Well,
it
no,
involves.
it's just it turns them into crits. Instead of impact, it's like a.
it turns well. It so
Oh
it,
no, critical is a keyword now,
It's
right?
yeah. Well, what critical is? It's critical 1, right? It's one of those. It's one of those rules. So what it does is, I imagine it'll be good for them because I think for every hit surge you roll, you can change that to a critical.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
But you're limited to only one.
Yeah,
surge.
but it's critical 1, so you can only do it with one surge.
Yeah.
But I think the gun's at least 2 red. I want to say it's 2 red and a white. So,
I wish we had gotten to see some of what
I think
Grievous
it
and
might be 2 red.
Obi-Wan will be
Well,
able to
Yeah, I
do.
mean that's the other thing too.
We have 37 more weeks until anything gets
well,
released.
that
Yeah.
doesn't come out. They're not going to release that till Adepticon next year. So we
Yeah,
got some
right.
we got some time.
I could see it possibly coming out at Gen Con. Because that's third quarter right
you
now.
know, you know
I
what?
could
Yeah,
too, but there's a lot of stuff they haven't released yet. When's Gen Con?
in August.
Normally first week of August.
Yeah.
First week of August, I'm sorry.
So there's a lot of stuff they haven't released yet. And
Well,
I don't think they're.
I really think there's not that much really, because there's the 3 rebel things, right? There's the speeder, the Sabine Wren.
Yeah, and then there's
Is she
the,
from
Then there's
Rogue
there's
One?
4.
Yeah, there's 4
no,
more.
she's EU, I think.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
she's not. She's from Rebels.
Yeah, extended. I'm sorry, I meant
Oh,
extended.
gotcha.
universe.
She's from-
Like, I mean, that's not quite extended, but
Yeah,
Did you see
I
that
thought
sign
that was
up there?
canon. I'm not 100%. She actually
Yeah.
looks really cool. But yeah,
How did
so,
you see that?
By looking at it.
So I was playing a game earlier, and somebody wrote on a piece of. So first of all, I got to preface this. Like, whenever I play a game, people come around the table and they're like, "Beat his ass!" Like,
It's not
there's
that
bad. It's pretty funny. But I was playing Age of Sigmar with Jaden, and Mike Wazowski wrote "Beat Tim's ass" on a piece of cardboard and just hung it up in the store. And I forgot about it. Dakota's like, "Hey, do you know about that sign?" So yeah, just a little bit of encouragement. I did lose the game.
Did you?
I lost. Yep, lost to the
first timer.
Yeah, it seems to happen a lot. It seems to happen an awful lot.
I feel like you just lose Sigmar a lot.
I feel like you should have a new Sigmar army.
I'm working on it.
I can't imagine these players just being better than you. So. Unless they just really take to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, man.
Well, there is a really big difference. Like, I guess think back to like earlier in 8th.
Yeah.
Like Index versus Codex. Really, same type of thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm playing the Grand Alliance book.
Yeah, if you don't have
Battle
Tome, and they're running Grand Alliance, it's rough.
Well, I played
I
against
can imagine.
Dakota,
And I mean, we've got armies like Stormcast Eternals that have literally gotten a new Battle Tome every year
Since
they've come out. They're on
they
Battle
haven't
Tome
got
number
one
4
this year yet.
but it's coming. Give it time.
Oh yeah, we'll have one by the end of the year.
Yeah. So,
and they're always like the
4
most
Battle
expensive
Tomes.
book.
So what you're saying is, if I play Age of Sigmar, I need to get a Stormcast.
Only if you want to throw money away.
If you, it's not
I guess
throwing it
that's
away
fair.
because the models are gorgeous. But like what we were saying earlier in the edition about collecting Space Marines, we don't ever get
Joe
to
said
stop.
should have used my dot. Joe, you're damn straight.
That's fair.
should've.
I mean,
your collection is never done because
just released new Marines.
you buy the
a
next
week
10
ago,
kits,
2 weeks
and
ago.
right as like you've finished gluing the arms on, they're like, "Hey, look at this entire new chamber."
See,
There is a little bit of a problem with Stormcast where the new stuff completely invalidates the old stuff.
And
the old Stormcast stuff.
Yeah, so like
that's not good.
Evan has a basically first edition Sigmar army or Sigmarine army, Stormcast army. I shouldn't say Sigmarine, and it literally is not playable now because all the new stuff replaces it.
well, like the
Star Drake
yeah.
still holds, and
like evocators are just better than any paladin. Like from that
your
that came out in the first year.
Sequitors are better than Liberators.
And I mean, sure, they're 20 points more expensive
But you
for
gotta
the
bring a
unit,
special-
but you don't care.
Yeah, you got to
They
bring
get-
an
they
80-point hero to make
Yeah.
them battle line.
Every turn, you can just be like, all right, I'm going to reroll either all of my hits or all of my saves.
The problem
nuts.
the problem with
It's
that
nuts.
is, I mean, I guess I'm a little ignorant when it comes to Sigmar, but I don't know what else you do with Sigmarines. So
Leave them alone
Well, you
for
see,
a year and a half.
Actually, like I know how you and I have said that before about like tactical Marines in 40K, but
well, that's not necessarily. I'm talking about when you introduce new models. So like
They've given them 6 different mounts. They ride dragons. They're in. You know what I mean? They have everything they need for
see,
a long
like
time.
even like every model in the game, like they all have their own special abilities.
Yeah.
They all like even your basic Liberator gets to reroll or gets +1 to hit against anything with 10 wounds or more.
yeah,
Like that's just a rule they have.
yeah, but when
But the problem is that when they bring out the new stuff, the rules that they come up with are just so over the top. Like, do you want to get +1 to hit against big stuff, or do you just want to reroll all failed hit rolls?
but are those wow yeah
yeah,
no, are those
that's the difference. And
are those units that they're releasing extremely similar to the previous ones that they've already released?
yeah, sequitors are like
That's-
ground up nearly exactly the same, but they have better weapons, have better rules.
That's
mostly what it is.
the
It's
big
similar.
They're just 20
profiles.
points more expensive.
That's the big difference. So whenever they release a new take Space Marines for instance. Well, we'll talk about Chaos since they just got a huge model release. Whenever they release new models in a lot of cases for 40K, it's not they're not releasing a model that is all that similar to anything else they have in their range, right? So take all the models that they just released, right? Obliterators are a replacement of a current model called Obliterators. It's just a new sculpt.
Well, it's an update, right?
Yeah, exactly. But even when you take into what Obliterators do, Obliterators and their other shooting stuff, that's their heavy shooting stuff, are two completely different models that are useful in their own right.
Right.
They're not a direct replacement because of how different they are.
Right.
But
Well,
with Sigmar, I think there's a lower ceiling in terms of how many different things you can come out with.
In Sigmar?
Yeah, I
well, I
think
was just
so.
going to say that I think that I would say it's almost the opposite because you don't have the same restrictions. So you don't have like 4 sword slots, right? You have leader, battle line, artillery, and behemoth, and then you have a category called other.
Yeah.
Right. So like, there's not to me there should be a cavalry. You know what I mean? Because like then you can come out with more cavalry type.
Sure.
Units because now you can literally come out with all these units that just fit into the other category that usually aren't limited.
And you can just make your entire army out of those.
Yeah, and a lot of times those become troops if, and there's usually Joe says, let's see, what don't put it over there, bro, I got to read it. He says he was curious what the new Stormcast stuff. I think Joe, are you talking about the Forbidden Power?
No, there've been rumors going around that they're getting like more war machines.
They probably need. We need more war machines.
Yeah,
I think,
well,
in
that was one of the things I was thinking of, is because they do a surprisingly amount of vehicles in 40K, right? They release vehicles only on a slightly lower rate than they do like infantry models, right? Models with an actual body. So, I don't see that in Sigmar. Maybe it's because I'm not paying that much attention to it. But
I blame
haven't
the keyboard too, Joe.
I haven't seen a new war machine, as you put it, in Sigmar.
Well, not since Soul Wars. When Soul Wars came out, when Second Edition launched last year, they got the ballista.
Okay, but
but that's the only one that I've seen.
And that's my point, right? They don't do that to where in 40K you have
the behemoths in this game are kind of the vehicles.
the vehicles. Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking for like the big monsters. And
okay.
Have you seen any of the Gloomspite Gits? Stuff?
They're so cool,
dude. Like they have like giant spiders and like tiny goblins riding around on the spiders. And like, dude,
the new goblin stuff,
beautiful.
I guess, is pretty good. I know it was played pretty heavily at the LVO. I don't know about Adepticon. I didn't see any Adepticon stuff.
I didn't see any coverage
Sigmar.
on Age of Sigmar.
You know what?
I know they had a big tournament.
I've got a big gripe here. The way that the Warhammer TV covered Lloyd, how you doing, sir? The way Warhammer TV covered Adepticon. So. Jason, if you're still in here, correct me, but if I'm wrong. But from the looks of it, Thursday and Friday were the 40K singles, right?
Yeah.
So Thursday we had 40K coverage on Warhammer TV, and then Friday they did Sigmar doubles. Okay, so we didn't get to see the championship games of the
Sigmar.
40K event, right? But then Friday or Saturday and Sunday is singles for Sigmar. So to me, they should have, because you know what I mean.
That's weird.
No, I could be wrong. Anybody that was there, let me know if I'm saying that backwards. But to me, they should have covered both singles events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if they wanted to cover doubles, it's easy to start a Twitch channel.
I don't know why they wouldn't
Twitch
do
channel.
the championship. Anybody?
It seems like they did it backwards.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
No, they may have. Well, they got the.
I feel like
Sigmar doubles championship games, but it's just weird. I don't know. What did Jason say?
I feel like championships is what you'd want to cover.
He says Age of Sigmar, no clue. Okay, so I'm right at least on the 40K side. I really do like the way Adepticon did their tournament. Now they have a 256 player max.
Okay.
Right. So what they do is the first day you play. I think it's 4 rounds.
You play 4 rounds,
and then
in
they
day 1.
cut to the top 16 for day 2.
Okay.
So if you don't make the top 16, your tournament's over. Right. But then they do single elimination on day 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're still able to play 8 rounds for the champions, whereas LVO's 9 rounds for the 2 top players.
Yeah.
Oh, it's single elimination for the second for the.
Yeah. So the top
16?
16, it's a bracket.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
good. That takes battle points out of the equation, and I
right.
love that.
Well, you got to do battle points to get from 256 to 16.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not really opposed to that.
Yeah.
But if I
When you have a large
if I'm
number like
at
that.
top table, and like I lost just simply because my opponent scored more points than I did in round 3 five games ago,
Yeah.
I would be furious.
Now,
Well,
the
not only
GW
that, but an opponent you never like
Yeah.
an opponent you never played.
Right, that you didn't
Yeah.
have a chance to affect his
Yeah,
battle points.
Exactly. Like that's.
I don't
that's
think
just
the
not
big
right.
tournaments are run that way. Now, the grand tournament at Warhammer World, they do the 3 heats throughout
Yeah.
the year, and then they do the, I want to say the top 28 or something like that. They do 6 rounds, so whatever that would be.
Okay.
But they do Swiss because they're playing. I was watching some of the games the other day, and that's pseudo battle points because if one guy didn't win the top table, he would have dropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And the other guy wouldn't necessarily have won it. There would have
Yeah.
been some kind of amalgamation.
Well,
I think the top of it, you need to have a bracket style.
I think
absolutely.
bracket's definitely the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then because getting to the best is about like your performance, but then at the very end, it's about winning your game.
Yeah.
And I think to determine the champion, it should be about winning your game.
And a lot of times, like at these bigger events, if you go undefeated, like if you go 4-0, chances are you're going to make the top 16 at Adepticon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you probably
Well,
should.
I mean, you got to
don't know
go
what-
6-0 at the LVO because there's so many players.
Did you see the points standings though? Because like
There were some ties, right?
There were like the people who were cut into the top 16. They were like 40-0, 40-0.
A lot of the
40
games
and
I
0.
saw
One of
were
them was
40 to
like one of
nothing.
them was like 26 to I don't know what his opponent scored, but like he was number 2, and then
Yeah.
all of his other games were 40-0.
Yeah, I did see
My
that.
goodness.
Like that's the kind of performance. Like even going 4-0 wouldn't get you there. You have to crush your opponent.
Yeah.
You have to you have to be honestly like. I'm not saying anything bad against Juice. Steven, I don't remember.
4, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him
The
until I
Gene
saw it.
Cult player.
Yeah.
That placed second. He got lucky enough to be paired up against a Space Wolf player who brought like 20 Terminators.
Yeah, we watched that game.
In what?
In
the second-
a
No, day one.
Like,
Oh, okay. I was about
day,
to say
day
he,
one.
he made it.
No,
to the
and
top.
he utterly mollywopped this guy.
No, I
he's
can
he's playing Gene Cult. He crushed him.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a good game.
No,
he annihilated him. But like he was fortunate enough to have that opponent. Where
Right.
like what if he had gone up against who was the guy that won? What was his name again? It was
Jim Vassell.
Vassell. Like what if they were paired together in round 1?
They had a close
Like,
game, I thought.
I actually I don't know much about the
the
game.
score was close from what I saw.
No,
I don't know. That's why I like the idea of like an invitational. I really would love for GW to say, "Hey, we're going to do a season." I think I talked to you about it the other day, to where maybe they pick 32 players, maybe they pick 64 players, whatever it is, and they say, "Okay, like Brad, you're selected. You're playing Tau for the next 6 months. You can do anything in that book for 2,000 points." But you're playing just Tau, and you're playing it, or whatever it is. Maybe you're limited to 2 codex. Obviously, Tau doesn't work, but like put these really good players with a codex. Think about it like a football team, right? You have your roster, and you could do anything within the rules with that roster for.
I'm flattered. You just called me a really good player.
I would hope we'd make the top 64. That'd be cool. 64 in the world. No, but like I really think that you could see some cool stuff come out of that, to where these guys,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Nick Nadavati has been playing orcs.
Juice's list was I don't think his list was bad. I mean, especially not. It made it to top 2, but again, it's about like it was a scoring list. Yeah. At least
Joe,
I
what are
thought
you
so.
saying? I don't watch those things.
I can't
But
believe.
he
know him
definitely had a very
name.
good run with it.
I can't believe I saw it because I was reading the top. I think it was the top 16 for Adepticon, and there was like 5 orc players.
Yeah, there were 4 of them in the top 10.
No,
four in the top 10.
Why did they do better at Adepticon than they did at the LVO?
Well, it comes down to Adepticon is just it's weird. Their missions are different. They don't use
they don't use the ITC terrain, right?
Yeah, they don't. However, I've heard a lot of this year's used a lot of new terrain for Adepticon. So they really
The tables
like,
they were streaming did
fixed
not
lot
have a
of those.
ton of line of sight.
No,
blocks
they
either.
didn't. They really did
Here's
not.
another thing to consider too. Do you think the introduction of Gene Stealer cults into the competitive meta could have been a positive change for orcs?
That's hard to say because orcs themselves are really squishy. Like
A lot of people
and
predicted
Gene
them to
Stealer
do well at the
hits like a
LVO.
truck. Like they
But
like
orcs do hit like a truck too, and they arguably I think they're better at shooting than Gene Stealer cults as well. So
Oh,
they
no,
could be-
you're right.
They could be an effective counter to Gene Stealer cults, and they might be. I mean, I could completely be talking on my butt here, but they could also they could be an effective counter to Gene's third calls, and that also might be why you see an introduction of orcs. I mean, I think there was only one player in the top 10.
I think the missions really line up well for orcs. Plus, orcs perform well in battle points because they have an enormous board presence.
They're able to strangle out.
And you're not only able to deny your opponent objectives, but you're able to score them yourself.
Yeah.
So like Adepticon's layout really benefits like the majority of orc lists because you know most orc lists aren't anything without hordes of boys. They're cheap.
Well, I mean,
they're effective. That's you know.
well, you have that troop choice, and then you have the Gretchen troop choice. So
yeah, no,
you're bringing any troops. You're bringing orc boys.
Gretchen's shield is so good.
Yeah, it is.
It's
hilarious too.
All right, let's talk about the new models. We talked a little bit about
the announcements,
Clone
or
I mean,
okay.
Let's talk about that damn airbrush. I'm so excited for an airbrush.
They did announce an airbrush. Okay.
Well, not officially. They
okay.
I actually saw.
I know that's what's in the rumor right now.
I actually saw an article that was
speculation,
like,
I think
I saw an article that was basically saying, they didn't mention an airbrush in the article. They're like, it's like new paints or.
Oh, really?
Paint. And but to me, and then some of the Warhammer Facebook basically they said it's a new tool. Because somebody was like, "Is it the paint gun from the shotgun?" And they were like, "Yes."
That's hilarious.
Their Facebook page.
I love
great
it.
word.
But yeah, they explicitly said it's a new tool, and I can't think of any tool that'll help you paint faster than an airbrush.
Hi, Larissa.
I mean,
because that's the whole cornerstone
Larissa
of the
from
video
Down
that they
Under.
had, right?
Yeah.
What time is it there?
Add 15 hours to whatever it is right now.
It's tomorrow. That's what time it is.
You have no proof of that.
It's tomorrow.
If the Earth were flat, what time would it be there?
Today?
Yes.
I don't know.
Today?
It'd be a totally different dimension.
So that Keeper of Secrets model, to me, might be the best model they've come out with. And I know you disagree.
I disagree.
I'm disagreeing that it's the best. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love it. But I don't think it's the best.
No, I mean,
it's not the
best
best
model. Did you say
model.
you thought the Lord Discordant was the best model you've seen?
It's up there.
Really cool.
That model is beautiful.
Really cool. I mean, they've gotten a lot of. If we're talking like big centerpiece models like that, I mean,
Magnus,
Mortarion,
no,
Bloodthirsters just look
so we
awesome.
talked about this the other day off air, Dakota. Like that, but this by no means is a knock on any other model. But to me, when you look at that Keeper of Secrets, can you put a picture of that up, Tony?
Keeper of Secrets?
Yeah, just
it's got to be a new one. You might find a lot of the old pictures too.
If it looks crappy, it's an old one.
Yeah, if it looks like the most demonic and terrifying thing you've ever gazed upon, it's the new one. The thing I really like about it is that I was talking to Ron about this too the other day. It does everything that I feel like they were setting out to do
with the centerpiece. Like that.
I mean it's terrifying but alluring. You know, like you want to look at it, but you can't look at it.
I don't think it's all that terrifying.
Man. I think it's very.
It's not the least terrifying, but
it feels very. Malevolent.
It feels menacing. Yeah, absolutely.
To me,
absolutely.
like looking at that compared to looking at a bloodletter's comical. This thing looks like it will actually F you up.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
it just has like I don't know if maybe it's because of the way the head's tilted down. I think they did
it's something about the claw hands.
Yeah,
dude. Like something about those.
And then the way like it has a second set of arms like that come out right here.
Yeah. It like has two sets of shoulder blades.
No, it looks really cool. I really like that new model.
The other Slaanesh stuff looks good too.
Yeah, honestly, I don't.
The other Slaanesh stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't hate the previous Keeper of Secrets model.
I don't know if I can place
it. It just isn't up to scale with the other greater demons
absolutely.
anymore.
Which is fine. They come out with a new model. I think out of all of them, I think that one probably looked better than most of them.
I think this might be the best greater demon. I think it's better. It might not be. Well, I do think it's better than Fate Weaver.
I think
as much as I love the Fate Weaver model.
The Fate Weaver model is beautiful.
I love it.
Absolutely,
it's so good.
No, well,
the Great Unclean one is really good. I feel like that one gets swept under the rug. Like I've never played against the new model, and I'm just like, man, it's
one of the, you've never played against. Well, I think you've played against a Lord of Change and Fate Weaver once, but it's those big greater demons are just bad.
Yeah,
here's the unfortunate truth about this new model that's coming out. You're never gonna see it because it's not gonna be good. You're not gonna see a Keeper of Secrets. It's bad. I haven't even seen its rules yet, and I know it's bad.
That's because the meta favors infantry so much.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
favors numbers
exactly
over.
You bring it unless
really
the thing has like 20 melee attacks, which I don't think it will. You'll be able to
yeah,
target
it's
it, and it's
no
not
more,
going to go
it's
anywhere.
no Mortarian.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be really cool if it had something where
Mortarian
you could
literally
like cut through hordes, but yeah, the other models look good. Clone Wars stuff, I think, really hasn't reinvigorated the Legion base, especially locally here.
They're more posable. Like
The clones aren't.
Right, I mean, like they have
battle
they have
droids
detachable heads. The droids come on sprues.
Yeah, I heard sprues. I didn't know it was only droids.
Well, it's for something with their production. That's their first production run of the hard plastic.
okay, so what probably happened was the clones came out before the droids.
They were done before.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're like, hey, sprues, droids. And
So
then,
what do you guys think? It does favor bullets, Joel. It favors
Joel's
bullets.
got some bullets up his sleeve too. We've
what
been
favors
talking.
bullets?
The meta.
Oh yeah,
Bullets.
absolutely, absolutely.
So what do you guys think are going to be the next releases, model wise, for the Clone Wars?
I was a little upset that they're not coming out with the whole range. Like, okay, so when Legion dropped, it didn't come out with the whole range, but there was an ATST and an airspeeder.
Like a week later, or 2 weeks later.
At the same time. It all came out day one.
It did.
Oh, it did,
Yeah.
didn't it?
So,
That's
like-
right. It just
like-
wasn't in the starter kit.
Like, to
That's
me,
all.
I don't know
mean,
why we don't. I don't know why
okay.
we don't have the droid on a speeder bike.
Yeah, I was about
it's
to say
37 weeks
I
away.
forget what it's called.
That's
but yeah.
fair. So we got no, but
Wait,
they said that
just for reference, that is 37 more episodes of continuous outrage.
my God.
Episode 37 is going to be a good one, guys.
God.
It's going to be a really good one.
So
But what do you?
I would like to see the tank.
Yeah, they could very well release more.
You'll see the tank.
I'm so
You'll
excited
see
for
the
that
tank.
tank.
Are you talking about like the hover
the
tank?
the AAT.
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it is.
it's the AAT. Yeah, the
hover
tan
tank.
one with the 6 like bomb missile things and the big can. It looks like a hover tank. Like
on the droid
picture,
side?
Yeah, the droid
like, picture
tank.
a hover
The
tank,
droid
it's a hover
transport.
tank. Yeah.
No,
it's
the
not a
droid
droid
tank.
Oh no, you're talking about the actual tank. No, never mind. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
super
It
pumped for
looks
that.
like a tank. But
I can't
no,
wait
that'll
to
be cool.
shoot that in an ATST. Like, it just
Yeah.
Oh my
thematically, like, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense timeline wise, but I'm so excited to do it.
I want to see super battle droids. Those will come, obviously.
Yeah, they'll be.
Those will be an elite.
right, but like I want to know what
Yeah,
they're gonna do.
probably.
Like
Well,
they're gonna have like
I think they'll do different phases of battle droids. Like, you'll have more elite battle droids that you take in regular squad units where they'll have like a black dice to hit.
You're talking about the ones with the super
The
long
one-
head.
super battle.
No, the
No,
ones
no.
that they got the guns on their forearm.
Yeah, yeah. Those are
That's
super bad. Those are super battle.
droids.
Yeah.
The big blue ones. Or
Yeah.
well, I guess depending on what.
Because
they're-
I don't know
they're
how
gray.
many different troop choices do you have for.
Well, we're gonna have 3 now. Eventually, for the rebels, we'll have 3, and they haven't announced the shore troopers, but we'll get shore troopers.
Yeah.
Well, what are the 3? They have
They have
rebel troopers,
veterans,
fleet
troopers, and fleets.
Yeah, veterans are the next release.
veterans are troops
Yeah.
are core. Okay.
And they're actually
And they all do
like,
scratch a little bit different itch. You know what I mean? Like, they all are a little bit different.
Out of all the troop choices I have for my rebels, veterans are the ones that interest me the most. They're the ones who
I'm
seem
telling
to
you,
have
when
the
you-
most
when you
utility.
you
get
can
a
bring like a
transport-
heavy weapons platform with them, can't you?
Yeah, well, that's only one of the cool facets. So the other cool thing is they have a hit surge too, so they hit a little bit better.
On black dice.
Yeah, on black dice. And then the other thing they can do, they can take training. So Fantasy Flight is big on upgrades.
Yeah.
So no other troop slot, Imperium or Imperial or Rebel, has veteran upgrades for any of their troop choices. These do. So you can give them Hunter, you can give them Duck and Cover. There's a bunch of different upgrade
Oh,
cards.
they got all the elite stuff that they can add to their trooper.
Yeah,
unit.
so the training stuff is really cool, and then they have their ability is really neat and syncs up with your army. So what you can, one of the things you do, and I've been messing around making these lists with them, and you can take for your extra trooper model. Instead of taking that extra trooper, what you do is you take a comm specialist that gives you a comms upgrade, and you take an HQ uplink, which allows you to just exhaust the HQ uplink during the issue
order
phase,
yourself,
and they
right?
can just issue themselves an order. And they have an ability to where whenever they're issued an order, they get a dodge token. And then they have another ability to whenever they're issued an order, they can issue an order to friendly emplacement troopers. So that's either their
their little gun or
their gun or
satellite
the big
dish.
radar gun. Yeah. Exactly. So what you do is you take a bunch
There's
of
a
these
lot of
guys-
layers of combos in this game
yeah,
now. Like
it's
it's
really,
crazy.
It's really
It
cool.
is really starting to.
So what you do is you just take a bunch of these guys with all these HQ uplinks, and in one turn you issue them all orders, and they issue orders out to all your gun emplacements. They all get dodge tokens, and it's just gnarly. And
That's cool.
It's a super
and they
tactical
do,
edge.
they
you get
do
on
a
your
really good
opponent.
job too, because like you're gonna pay for all that. You know, it's not by any means gonna be broken.
Absolutely,
You know
it's
what I
gonna
mean?
be. I think it's 19 points per unit. So it'll be
additional points. You're saying?
yeah. So it'll be cheaper than a heavy weapon, but not as good as a heavy weapon probably
Right.
in terms of at least doing
Right.
damage. But it will have, in my opinion, more utility than a heavy weapon. So
Well, and we know, like, we can assume since the core set comes with Phase 1 clone troopers, we'll get
Yeah.
rebel command or not rebel clone commandos.
you will
well,
definitely
those
get
will be
clone
special
commando.
ops.
but we'll
yeah.
get Phase 2 troopers that are a
Yeah.
little bit different. You know, maybe better in a different way.
They'll have different rules. They'll probably be they might be a little bit better too. They might have a hit surge, or I halfway expected them to do.
Yeah, because there's no surges for either of these core troopers.
No, well, I mean, the clone troopers roll red defense die and black die, so
Right.
they don't. They're fine without them.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
good on their
Death
own.
Troopers. Death Troopers have red defense and a surge.
No, I know. I'm
That is
upset about
nuts.
it. Have you seen any of their upgrades?
Yeah.
They're all dumb.
They're
They
not
are.
that. They're not dumb, but like, they're
No,
good.
They're
I mean,
really good. The tank is dumb.
I
That
don't know
thing-
if the tank is
the,
dumb
The
either.
tank is cheaper than an
It's good.
The tank is cheaper than an airspeeder for I think it's like 10 points.
What up, Chris?
So one of the upgrade cards that comes in that
Gives it a hit surge.
yes,
You can give
gives
that
it-
to an ATSC too.
Yeah, gives it. I don't care. That's 200 points.
Yeah.
For 165 points, you give this thing that doesn't even have a hit surge. You give it a crit surge. It's
Wait, is it a crit
It's
or
a
is it a
crit
hit
surge.
surge?
It's a crit surge.
That's
And
good.
now it goes from
That's
having the same firepower as an airspeeder for cheaper than an airspeeder to
and
having
it's more durable than an airspeeder.
Yes, to
What's
having-
an airspeeder? 7 wounds.
7 wounds
And
with a
it-
white
it-
defense
what's
die.
this
That
thing,
one has a
9?
red defense die.
Yeah.
It's 8.
8.
But that one has a red defense die.
Yeah, and it's a.
Yeah, and
You
so,
don't have cover. I mean,
Plus,
you're
it's
still
a,
more
plus
durable.
it's a
Yeah, you're
transport.
still more
Transport rules in this game, I love them.
only
Like-
for the transport rule for the rebel speeder isn't good. You can only
No?
transport Luke like a singular model.
Oh.
You can't transport a unit like that.
Come
thing.
on.
Yeah, but
You can't transport what?
I can't transport a full unit. I can
Well,
only
I mean,
transport
I
one
guess
model.
you could
Oh yeah,
for the
yeah.
land
It's for a
speeder.
character.
you could
Yeah.
could
Move a
protect
hero
like
around.
Leia or
It's not
something like that.
It's
I
not,
gotta admit, I'm a little
not really
disappointed with
protecting,
with
but-
the Rebels new heavy. I mean, I think it's decent.
it's okay. I don't think I'll ever bring it.
It's not imposing on the table.
No,
You're
well,
not
the-
like,
if you
here's
have,
the-
if you
hey,
have
no,
one
we're
model
talking
left in a
Legion,
unit,
dog.
could you put him in there?
Maybe. I don't see why not. I don't know why you would. But I mean, if
No, he came along at the perfect time, man. Talking Legion.
he was just playing in here today.
But yeah, so no, going back to what I was talking about that tank earlier. So for cheaper than an airspeeder, you have better firepower than an airspeeder, and you're more durable than an airspeeder. And it's like, what? Why?
Well, you know,
Well,
they
power-
do need to
power creep.
revisit some points because
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett's a little too cheap. for
What
what
was he
Boba
like?
Fett-
He's like,
He's like 140.
He's 140.
But
That is kind of
What'd you say that
expensive.
guy's name was again? That other bounty hunter?
Oh,
Oh,
Bosk.
Bosk. Have you seen? Have you
Bosk or
seen his
whatever.
rules?
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
You got to play some Legion.
He's
Dakota.
awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta
His
play
gun
Legion.
is range 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Fires a red and 4 whites,
That's weird.
and it has suppressive.
That's
So he's like,
that was a weird impression.
dude, it's
But-
just like it's awesome.
I am super pumped for the Clone Wars. I'm super pumped. I cannot wait to get that big brown transport for droids.
You're not gonna get that.
Oh,
you
I
didn't,
need it.
You didn't get an AT-AT.
No,
You're
I'm
not
okay.
gonna get an.
This
what's
isn't
that?
the same
AT-AT?
steel, though, right?
I really don't think that thing is as
Armored
big as an
troop
AT-AT.
transport. It in all the
Chris
in all the
Riley
games
is our Star Wars guy. How big are those droid transports?
in all the games that I've played that have had that sort of scale set up, they've been as long, obviously not as tall because they hover. You know,
Right,
right
I
off
I
the
would
ground.
love. I was actually thinking about
They're
earlier today.
huge.
I would love to see them come out with
They're huge.
for lack of better terms, like an apocalypse range, where you bring out like
do it. They'll
the
do it at some point.
AT-ATs.
There's a
They have
market
it next-
for it.
they have it next
yeah, I was
one,
about to say
Epic.
they have giant models for X-wing. I wouldn't be surprised if they
They'll
did
do
it
it.
for Legion.
They'll do it eventually, especially if the game continues to grow and I think it's a really fantastic game, man. I don't feel like it gets enough love around here.
Probably not. Probably not.
Luke
haven't
told me the other day, he's like, yeah, that game's bad. It's unbalanced and it's boring. I'm like, dude, you played one game.
bad, unbalanced, and boring.
Played
That's-
one game.
That's
We got a lot of guys
I would not summarize Legion in I don't think any of those ways.
No, none of those. I don't think any of those are a fair assessment.
No,
of
I don't
Legion.
think so either.
You could say there's not a lot of variety.
I
Maybe
think
that's
it's-
boring.
yeah.
But there is so much more variety now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
absolutely.
lot more now.
Absolutely. Well, I haven't honestly. I'll be honest. I haven't bought a new model for Legion in a long time.
I know.
I know. And I'm looking at all the stuff that's come out, and I'm looking at all the new stuff that they're releasing, and I'm kind of looking at my wallet, and I'm like, I might divert some funds from 40K and put it into Legion.
It's exciting, man. The way
Yeah.
everything is changing and the game is just continuing to grow.
The addition of 2 more factions is
Huge.
Is enormous.
Huge.
Like it's not.
They're
it's,
not going to
it's
be
not gonna
balanced
feel,
for 6 to 8 months after they release
It-
because they're
it's-
just not going to
yeah.
have the ponies. But
They're not gonna
Maybe.
feel. They're not gonna feel right. Like right at first because of how little they're gonna have.
that's what I'm saying.
But yeah. But like,
Although when you got 100 battle droids,
I forget who I was talking to.
100?
No, you
not
can't
playing
win.
40K.
Dude,
I
you
forget
could
who I
have
was talking to where you could
40. I guess.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
a lot,
well,
right?
yeah, 6 of them are 36 points.
I love
No,
it.
I know.
they don't do
They
anything.
don't have any surges, and they roll white dice for everything.
I love it.
And
but
what's
there's so many
and
of
they
them.
have I think
and they're so
what's the
cheap.
rule they have to where if they're not issued in order
They have to attack.
Yeah, they
They
have
have
to.
to-
with their first action. they
Yeah,
have
so
to
like
attack.
you can't even get aim tokens with
No.
them. You can't do
Unless you
anything.
issue them to them.
Yeah, and so it's like they're just bad, which I love. I love that they're just crappy in a lot
like,
of different
they're
ways,
like half
and then
the
they're just
points
super
cost
cheap.
of any other core choice.
You know, I saw.
I don't think they're not half the
Maybe not half.
Maybe-
okay, but
maybe-
they're a lot cheaper.
maybe a lot cheaper per model because they're still 36. A Rebel
Yeah.
Trooper unit's 40, but they'll have 4 models versus 6.
yeah. Well, then you can give them a heavy weapon also. You know, so like I think.
I don't know if you would.
Well, the heavy weapons
Yeah,
are pretty good. Like,
it's gonna-
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna
if you've
depend on
got
what their
to
profiles are.
attack first,
it's gonna.
yeah, but you just order those ones that.
I guess.
And there's a very good chance that they'll have like command cards and other like special abilities to circumvent that.
yeah,
I don't think it's
Well,
going to be
when-
as big a
as more
detriment as you
combos come
think.
out later.
Okay,
I
well, I
think-
mean that's fine, and
Yeah.
that's fair.
And that's
fair.
also there was a little caveat in that rule where if they're able to attack, then that's what you have to do.
Yeah, so you might not be
So
in
if, you, if
range
you're out, if
until
you're
you-
out,
Okay,
if you're out of
that's fair,
range,
too.
then you're more than
Doesn't do
welcome
you
to
any good
move
for name
or
tokens.
stand
But
by.
but here's the thing though. If you're in, so I know one of the things they have is a rocket launcher, and traditionally rocket launchers are ranged up to 4.
Yeah.
They're also exhaust.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So here,
one shot a game.
yeah. So if you put those guys in a bad spot, you're gonna have to waste an attack action to shoot that rocket launcher, not use any of your other guns in that unit, and then now
No, you're
now you
right.
can move.
You're
Like
right.
you could be really bogged down in some bad areas with that. Now I don't. They might not be just because they're
just
cheap
issue
points.
them orders then.
Yeah, just because they're cheap points, they might be okay.
Do they have a mortar?
But- huh?
Did they get a mortar?
Issue them orders.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
give them a mortar then.
But no, it's,
No, I'm super pumped for Clone Wars, and I really am
See,
excited
like,
to see
I-
what the vertical speed
I-
of lights do.
I don't know which one to play.
I want
I
to
wanna play both of them.
I want
I'm
to play
playing
clone.
both of them.
I want to play Clone Troopers, but the only thing that deters me from doing that is that bike in the kit just looks silly.
You know, I wasn't super thrilled with it,
It
but
just
but
looks silly.
it's like with that sidecar
Yeah,
thing.
he's got like a machine gun on the side. Kind of. It's like
Hey guys,
It's like hey, it's World War II, but in space.
the two
You're
that
like,
makes me think of the occupier tank. The 2 pintle weapons on that are really good too. Did you read the article today?
Oh my god! Oh my
Dude,
god!
that tank's
no,
gonna be
I
putting
don't
out
have to.
a ton of dice.
No, that thing is. Thankfully, it's only Arsenal 2.
You're right. So you're
So
gonna
you
have
can
to
only
ditch
fire
your,
2 guns.
Right, but your pintle gun, you put a DLT on the pintle.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Impact 3 with I think at least 3 red dice in your
Yeah,
pool.
it's just
And you with
silly.
a crit surge, if you're, I mean, it's either a crit or a hit surge with that captain.
Basically, they came out with these 2 models, and they're like, "You see this model? We came out with this model so we can kill that model." And it's just like that. That's all this model's doing is. Just
I
killing that
would
model.
love to see them go to an
Oh,
app
crap.
for points because points need to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Even we're only a year in.
Yeah.
We're like 54 weeks into
Mm-hmm.
Legion, and we've already got all this stuff.
I feel I do feel like Rebels are. I think they need to be pointed a little bit closer to what the droids are going to be pointed at. and a little bit further away from what
I
they're
haven't
pointed
played
at
against
now.
Rebels in a long time because all the
So-
Rebel guys stopped playing a while
Well,
ago.
that's because all the Rebel stuff.
I played
wasn't
Ted
really
a while
that cool.
ago, and that's pretty cool. The
I-
Tauntauns are really cool.
No, well, and all that stuff hasn't come out
Right,
yet either.
right.
So, like, the Tauntauns look really cool and really fun to play. Like I said, the Rebel veterans, I'm super excited to play with.
How many wounds do Tauntauns have?
Like
Four?
three,
Four?
four? They might
They're
be four.
each.
Yeah,
I want to
okay.
say.
But they're in units of 2?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. 8 wounds is a lot to chew through.
Oh no, it's gonna be awesome. Do you know what?
Especially
Do you know
since
what
there's
they
no
do?
multi damage.
Yeah, no, they're like awesome in melee, and they like tear stuff up,
Yeah,
and
well,
they can like turn because
They
they
get free
function
pivot
like
actions.
vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah, they just whenever they before or after they move, they could just take a free pivot.
Yeah.
And do you know what their gun is?
I don't remember.
It's Luke's blaster and Han's blaster without the pierce.
Nice.
So each Tauntaun shoots 2 red dice.
You know why they don't have Pierce on it? Because they don't know how to lean into their laser shot like Luke and Han.
That's what does
That's
it.
what it is. I mean,
It's not just leaning. You got to get that.
You got
The
to
back
kick
arm,
it,
yeah.
kick it with the arm.
You got to get that chicken wing out.
dude, look at the new models compared to Han. Also, Han is
I don't want to talk about it.
Han's a dumpster fire of a model compared to
That-
this new stuff. Leia's not great either.
No,
No,
but,
Leia's bad.
But at least her gun doesn't just look ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, there is a big problem with the Leia model, though. She doesn't have a flight stand in the kit. You've got to convert her to be to her final form.
This was before that. All right, this is original trilogy.
Oh god,
Leia.
that didn't happen for years.
the arms. Hey, by the
Like
way,
a
we can
decade.
play that, Tony.
Decade.
Did you see that post? That was so fun. We have a group we have a Facebook group for the show, and Tony just posts on there. Apparently, we can play it.
Oh,
Did
the
you
arms
see
of
it?
the- yeah, it's the arms of the angel rights. The music. We
Yeah.
can
Well,
play it on the
it
channel
says you can monetize and
play the.
yeah,
okay.
but like they still want you
Read
to
that,
get permission. What?
What? No, go ahead. I was.
No.
Oh, they still want you to get permission, but I don't know how they would.
Yeah, how do you get
verify it.
permission, right?
But yeah, if you play it,
Awesome.
they don't like it in Canada, I guess.
I saw that. Sorry.
Okay, so the thing that's like
Sweet.
has me torn about which army I'm gonna play for sure, because I'm definitely gonna play a clone era's army. The characters.
I know that's one of my big issues too, right?
And I'm like, the
9,
the,
bro.
The Republic has the
9.
Republic has
Roger,
has
Roger.
access to so many good characters between Mace Windu, Plo
Wait, you just get
Koon.
generic Jedi.
Jedi.
running
Well,
around.
that's
Right.
the thing too. You're gonna get a special. It's not even gonna be that.
It's
You're
gonna be
gonna
an
get
operative
operatives,
unit.
or you're gonna get special ops units, which are just like a squad of Jedi.
That'd be amazing.
And that's just cool,
Yeah.
right? And
No,
you can
it's
give them
just
force upgrades. It's just gonna be awesome.
But you're gonna get Dooku at some point. They're
Yeah,
gonna, they're
we
gonna
could
put
get
Darth
Dooku.
Maul on the Separatists, won't they?
Maybe, but guess what? Well, yeah, they'd have to. Absolutely. But
At some point, I mean,
it's-
just they'll sell
Oh
a
my
ton of the
God,
models.
Darth
you know how you
Maul.
got your Palpatine? Guess what? Clone troop. Guess what? They're gonna get Yoda.
That's gonna be really cool.
Oh,
This
that's
green midget's
gross.
gonna be flying
Green
around with the
midget.
green saber, just cutting people down.
So you can
It's gonna be great.
you could put him on a flight stand.
I saw Attack of the Clones. He needs a flight stand. Dude, that's like the best scene maybe in Star Wars when he walks in on the cane and then takes out his lightsaber and all of a sudden just like
Yeah.
bouncing around.
Yeah.
The theater went nuts when Yoda did that.
Oh well, yeah, I mean, because you were grown up to you were brought up to see Yoda as a feeble old green guy, and then he comes in, he's like, I'm a badass green
Yeah,
guy.
Joel,
and
it's Grievous, bro. Joel, we got to get Joel into Legion.
Dude, it's a.
I think Joel would really like it. He loves playing with infantry. It's a mostly infantry game.
yeah, for the most part.
That's why I enjoy it so much.
I mean, unless you play Rebel or Imperials, but
Well, yeah, dude, I can't wait to run 2 of those occupier tanks. Put snow troopers in them.
I can't wait to not play
nasty.
against 2 of those occupier tanks.
Yeah, but you know how cool it'd be having 2 speeders come against you. It'd be thematic.
It'd be great for you just to blow them apart.
If you focus fire on one of those with 2 speeders, you'll take it down.
I won't have time to. It's single activation. You're like, oh, you shot at one of my
I
occupiers.
don't think it's gonna have that.
Ah, crap! I guess I'll
sheer,
just
like-
blow it up.
Hey,
Yeah,
look
so-
at this
so-
math.
So Let's see. Let's talk about the clones should have an ATRT also.
Yeah, they'll have something along those lines.
Yeah,
like,
since they have a Z6 trooper,
Yeah.
I would imagine that they might
Well,
get
some
an
of
ATRT.
a lot of the Rebel equipment was Clone War stuff, right?
Well, yes.
'Cause the Empire just
I wouldn't say
continues
a
to
lot
churn
of
out
it.
new-
I would say some of it, because some of the
like
Empire equipment was
well, like I'm
upgraded.
talking lore wise. Like X-wings are old Imperial fighters, or old Republic fighters.
Kind of. Like you're
No, I'm
talking
not
about
talking
the
about
30s.
there's more-
there's
like-
more advanced.
like later
Like,
on.
advanced.
Yeah.
Well,
You
no,
know,
all
the years went by and they phased out.
I'm saying, yeah, all the fighters, all that stuff was Imperial technology that they just were like, we'll move on. The TIE fighter's easier to mass produce, is what it is.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So that's why, like, at least they've gone back and, that's why some of the Rebel
that's
stuff is more durable.
That's another thing that kind of makes me want to collect droids.
I'm doing both.
That's fair. I
I'm
can't
getting
do
three
both.
core
I just want to
sets.
I can't do
flood
both.
the table with 6 units of 8 droids.
No, I know. Well, one of the other things is why I would wanna
Xandri
run,
dust, bro.
Why I would want to run
And
Wash and dry brush, you're done.
Xandri dust with Agrax.
Yep, and then
boom.
hit him with like Ushapti bone or
well,
something.
Yeah, right.
Dry
No,
brush.
One of the reasons why I'd rather run droids over clones would be that I know for a fact that they're not going to release any models for droids that I don't already have for my rebels. With at least just that ATRT expected to come out, I already have two. Yeah,
You got
two.
three, don't you?
I have 2. I never bought an extra one. I never bought a third one, but I have 2 ATRTs with a rebel guy on top. I really don't need another one with a clone trooper on top.
I doubt it'll be exactly the same. It'll be different.
That
It'll be
Zach?
different in a little ways,
That
but
a
it'll
boy?
still be a guy on an ATRT. And I already have 2 of them. Like I don't really need another one.
Like, what other units can they come out for Separatists? Like they can.
They
like,
have the Simmers, they
Geonosians?
have the tanks,
Yeah,
they could do
you-
Geonosians, they could do the Super Battle Droid. They got a lot of stuff, man. They got
Super,
a
dude,
lot of
like,
stuff for
I'm excited to see
prequels.
Super Battle Droids. Like they could give them like.
Isn't there an upgraded
give him, like-
droid Decca too? Like, isn't there a more durable one in the
don't-
Revenge of the Sith?
I don't think so.
so. There's something
we could get that buzzer droid. Is it buzzard?
The one that attacks
It can be a walker and it's a fighter.
Oh, the
droid,
it's
the
on
droid
4
fighter.
legs.
Yeah.
the
It's on
droid-
4 legs
yeah.
and it has like the one big can. Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe?
I think you could. It's about the size of a snow speeder, maybe a little bigger.
Yeah,
but I
Joel,
could see
the
it having
Geonosians.
a dual mode. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I just don't know how you would make that into an actual model, just because that seems like it'd be really.
Well, you could just have like where the legs rotated. Like it'd have to be on a flight stand all the time. But you
I
could have like
guess.
you know what I mean. Like the legs could rotate down and look like it was walking.
I get. Well, its head also moves too. But.
Do you remember
yeah, well,
that?
it looks just like a vulture, right? It's called
Vulture. That's what they're
Yeah,
called.
it looks just like a vulture. So when it's on 4s, its head's forward. It almost looks like a chicken.
Yeah, they could use like the bugs.
They dude like Super Battle Droids. They could give them like 3 wounds
Yeah.
and like a red defense die.
Yeah, there'll be a total
Like
total heavy infantry compared to the
Yeah.
other crap.
They might
that's
be
kind of
special
what-
forces.
That's
though.
kind of what excites me about Separatists. Like I can
There's
spend
a lot of variety.
so little on my core and really flush out like my elite options.
What are you getting at?
I think he's talking about Min-Max.
Yeah, I am. But like not only that, I can like flood the board while not spending that much.
I don't know what that's like.
I was about to say, what's he talking about now?
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll feel very similar to Guard. You'll have your important
maybe.
stuff behind, and you'll have a lot of chaff in front.
Yeah. But it's a completely different game, though. So
It is, but weighted dice are still a thing, man.
I get it, but I think
Oh, weighted dice is even bigger in this game.
the one thing about this game, though,
Well, yeah,
is
because you
that
just got to hit.
it's different from 40K. Is a squad of droids won't be better than a squad of clone troopers.
That's fair.
No, it won't be, and that's good.
Yeah, and that's how it should be, because those clone troopers cost more, and
But you could
it's
still.
just not
Yeah,
going to happen.
I think if you
So.
you ran 6 clone troopers, you'd still be doing okay. Like
Like 6 squads. of
6
clone
squads of them.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the droids can still issue
Going-
orders to other droid units.
Yeah.
what's that?
Droids, they can issue orders
Yeah,
to
there's
other
a,
droid
like-
units.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's their card rule.
like
Oh,
that, yeah.
is that another one then?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a droid network or something.
As long as they're within, like how the.
And we don't know what any of the upgrades are either.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So
well,
if they're
I can't
within range
imagine
one of each other, they can both just be like, all right, we're on, boop.
Huh? Okay. That's really interesting.
So running them together helps mitigate their. Oh no, I have
They're
to
weak
attack right now.
Attack
Rule.
first. Yeah.
It almost feels like Synapse. You know, like once somebody gets stranded away from the core of the army, like
well,
they're
it's
less
a little bit,
functionable.
It's a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more, not necessarily thematic, but a little bit more.
Well, they were pretty mindless in the movies. You know, they're just kind of like.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think it's a little bit more intricate than Synapse. A little bit more not convoluted. What's the word?
Complicated?
Maybe
Complex?
A little bit more complex. That just still doesn't feel right. But yeah, it's just. I don't know.
I think
it seems like a better rule.
I would agree.
That's just,
Yeah, no,
agree. That's what I'm trying to say.
it's cool.
They don't have to scream, "Where's Dad?"
Yeah. Like
Roger.
They don't go from fine.
They don't lose any effectiveness.
No,
They
dude,
just
like in 7th
you
edition,
don't-
like if you were out of Synapse, there were literally rules for just eating each other.
They're out of Synapse now. They're just like
they actually are going to add that rule for droids. They get hungry when they're out of Synapse.
Shut up.
We're not doing
You're
it
off
anymore.
the podcast. Where's Hinkley?
Where is Hinkley?
Unbelievable.
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 I gotta start saying.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
What up, David?
I think that's better.
Well, let's see, man. We got like, what, 8 minutes, Tony?
About, yeah.
Okay, is there anything that you want to talk about, Tony?
Oh, I'm good.
I'm good. I really wanted to talk about censorship today, but we got into heavy.
Well, I mean, a
Legion
lot
talk.
of stuff has happened since last Tuesday.
Yeah,
right?
there's been a lot of really.
a lot of
I wanted to
stuff.
talk a little bit more about Adepticon, but like,
We haven't even talked about the new Chaos releases. Like, we didn't even mention the new, like, what's in Vigilus and the new Codex.
well, I wanted to talk about Vigilus as well because
There's a lot of stuff in
my
that campaign
guy,
supplement ago.
you literally got 3 guys here,
He's
bro.
talking to me, man. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
no, this is garbage.
Attack bikes.
Yeah,
I don't.
So apparently the 35 points.
What's
attack
30?
bikes?
Oh.
He's like, why are they not being used to fill out brigades?
What attack bikes? Oh,
Because-
Because Space Marine brigades are bad.
No,
because
apparently they're
you
not.
don't run.
Apparently they're
Space
being
Marines.
run. Also, next
probably-
week we got to talk about the Centurion thing.
It's probably a Gilliman
Oh
thing.
my God, the Centurion
What,
thing.
Centurion devs?
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
but like, there's 2 units of 6 of them. Apparently, one of them can put out 30 mortal wounds a turn.
Oh, yeah, it's mini robot. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh
mini.
my
It's mini
God.
because you can do, instead of spending points on a call, you spend less points, like a lot
Just
less
like
points,
old times,
and
you
spend
son
command
of a-
points for a chapter master. Was there false Brad?
Oh, okay, well, David made a comment. He said, "I'll push a dresser on you like old times."
To be fair, we didn't push it on you.
I was handcuffed to
you
it.
were tied to it with shoelaces. There's a difference.
Okay, frantically trying to get away,
You
and I
weren't-
pulled it down
I
on
don't. You weren't
myself.
going anywhere. We were a little too, man, because that dresser was heavy, and
And it would have killed me.
but I saved your life after I put you in that position.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, I could totally see Centurions not being.
I watched
bad.
it. I watched it. Warhammer TV did a
Yeah.
GT game, London GT, and no, not London GT. It was a Warhammer World Grand Tournament.
How do they deal with mortal wounds?
I don't know.
Instead of doing the chapter master thing, you don't do a chapter master. You do Gilliman. That's
It's
Well, no,
my
they were
it's my
Imperial
fault that
Fist.
it fell.
oh, because of bolter. Because they have to be because that's what gives
Yeah,
them the mortal wounds.
yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
they at any rate, there were 3 repulsors, 3 Blood Angel repulsors that they were playing against, and he literally killed all 3 in one turn. Now, turn 1, he did orbital bombard one of them and did 12 wounds. So, like,
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Why?
yeah, he did 12 wounds with an orbital bombardment. He also was running a Rhino Primaris.
I am so confused.
Dude, it's
on
crazy.
so much of
Dude,
this.
European lists are totally different.
That's so
They
weird.
play the game differently.
I heard orbital bombardment. I'm like, who does this? And then like Blood Angel repulsors.
Why?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, why Blood Angel repulsors? Like, you could
Joe
run better
says, so the
repulsors.
moral of the story is that Tim's a hero. Joe, I'm glad you picked up on that, and it's true. I'm just waiting for my holiday.
Nope.
All right, it's not coming.
Oh man.
It's your fault it fell, Dakota.
Eli, you're just in time, dude. We've
Yeah,
been
we're getting
waiting
ready to leave.
56 minutes to
All right,
start.
now we can start the show. Eli's
God,
here.
Finally. God, okay, so anyway, welcome to episode 37.
I'm so done. You want to see a microphone disappear? He's like, no, that's my mic.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, Endgame Tickets officially went up for sale today.
Oh,
And they're all
Yep.
sold out.
Yep.
we need to get our tickets then. That way,
They're gone.
they're not gone.
You're going to want to check.
They'll
but
never sell another ticket.
They're
They're
not
all
gone.
They're booked up for months.
Sarah was like, oh, they're up. I was like, okay, let's try the 7:30 movie.
They're all-
She sent me a picture. She's like, the blue are open. There was like, in just the corners of the theater, there's seats. I don't know, man. It might be full.
You're trolling.
I wish I
No,
was.
trolling.
Dude, they
You're both
they
trolling.
Everybody is excited to see Thanos have his butthole pumped up by Ant-Man. Oh,
Dude,
the
Miss
other
Frizzle's
kid.
going to help him out.
Do you see that? Oh, my God. That's so funny.
So mad.
Tony's been going nuts on these in-game memes.
Yeah.
Oh, just Avenge the Fallen. I saw 40K
That
one.
and there was a Miss Frizzle.
It's pretty.
Ant-Man's in the bus with Miss Frizzle.
I've seen it.
There was one of, it was of Ant-Man. It was just like going his ass into the A.
Oh, it's the Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. It's not gonna happen.
Of course it's not going to
I'm pumped
happen.
for this movie. I'm pumped for the movie, man.
Why would you
I'm super
even
excited.
say that? Of course it's not going to happen.
It might happen.
That's worse.
There's a chance.
Oh my god.
Ant.
Never mind.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
What time is it?
It's almost time to go, so you got to come up with something
You
quick.
got you got 2 minutes for your soapbox.
All right.
Tell us about how
Okay,
disappointed
you know, I
are.
actually, this is gonna take longer than 2 minutes, but I
The
actually got something
big
today.
A.
I don't know what to do with my chaos. Help me.
Okay,
Build it.
I can help you.
Build it.
I'm trying to figure out what to collect and build into a list. I don't know what to do because everything costs so many points.
Get Abaddon,
You
bro.
need Havoc.
240 points. Yep.
Did he go up?
No, he stayed the same. He
Okay.
got better. I'm surprised he didn't go up,
Yeah, he got better, but his points stayed the same.
which is
Well,
good.
people were running him before, so I mean.
Well, they were running him for Fearless, right? They
You
weren't
can
running
still
him.
do that, right?
Yeah, but they weren't running him for anything on a stat line.
Right. I mean,
So
I'm
they
sure he can
changed.
handle himself in melee.
Oh,
Yeah.
he can more than handle himself.
He's pretty good. but
He went from D3 damage to flat 3.
That's only on your D6 attacks.
Brett, David says, "Tell us about the war." YOLO war stories.
Oh my god.
Oh God, trigger the PTSD, Brad.
You don't got to talk about the village.
That's okay. No, this one time I was in the shit. Never mind. I was in a.
So
Listen,
we're
you
talking.
can't tell me to talk about war stories on a show where I'm not allowed to swear.
Okay, so
Anyway,
back to
your
chaos.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do. I don't like. I want to bring Havocs. I want to bring Obliterators, and then I run out of points.
Well, you need to.
And then I'm like,
Is that somewhat hyperbolic?
I run out of half my points.
What did you pick? Did you pick
more
a?
accurate.
What legion are you? Gonna
Probably
play?
Black Legion.
Black Legion?
Like 90% sure. I might run like 17 models from Red Corsairs. Exactly
Oh.
17 models.
What
The
is it?
spiky 17. Eh?
Yeah.
The red 17. Get her.
Oh, I heard it. I heard him calling it spiky 17.
I mean,
No,
Because
did
you want
so-
your
did-
8 command
Oh,
points,
did someone
right?
actually say that?
yeah, I want
Yeah.
my 8
Okay.
command
I was
points.
saying red because they have to be red Corsairs.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that's what you care about.
Yeah, so I'll.
I sure would like to see this game go away from. I'm going to bring these guys just to get their command points.
Well,
Yeah,
they
that'd be
need to
good.
make these guys. I would love to bring, because originally before I saw they couldn't use veterans of long war, I was just gonna make an entire army of Red Corsairs. That's what I was gonna do.
But since they're renegade, you can't.
I can't
Yeah, you
use
can't-
veterans of long.
And that's
which
like one of the
isn't-
best stratagems in the game.
Which isn't
I agree.
which isn't a total deal breaker for me.
I'm
But
okay
I
with them
can't-
limiting it though.
Yeah, I am too. But but there's really nothing else there for me to do anything interesting with in terms of Red Corsairs. Because the other thing I could do would bring like squads of chainsword bolt pistols, Chaos Space Marines.
I think that's really cool.
It's really cool, but it's really, really, really terrible.
It is really
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean you can't.
See, now,
It's just
why,
a bunch
why
of
not
strength
just,
4.
just take
Yeah,
a,
you
take
lose
a
in melee
blob,
combat to catechins.
Take-
Like, it's not
Yeah.
cool.
Well, you wound
take
them
a
on
blob.
3 still.
That's
take
fair,
a
but
blob
you
of
wound me on
30
fours.
cultists. Take a blob of 30 cultists and just go out, wound knights on 4s in melee. Just do it.
Yeah.
Now, why can they wound them on 4?
Because you can trigger Veterans of Long War on them, and there's a new prayer that gives you +1 to wound in melee.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
now
right.
you can have +2 to wound on knights.
I don't.
That's silly.
I don't
You
know
run
if
up to-
that's. I don't know if that's what you do exactly because you can only cast one prayer and you're only allowed to know one. So
Right, but you can bring a couple Dark Apostles, right? So you can.
well, you can bring up to 3, right? And if
Dark
you're-
Apostles are like the HQ choice you care about.
Are they HQs?
Yeah, they're HQs.
Ah, it feels like they should be elites, doesn't it?
No, they've always been HQs.
Have they?
Yeah, I don't know why they would be elites.
I mean, just like a
the
chaplain.
way everything got broken up now. Yeah.
Plus, you know what? Speaking of chaplains, I think that Space Marines, that chaplains are going to get like a prayer system.
I
should.
bet they will.
I think they should.
GW
They
is
don't
big
do
on the
anything.
prayers.
They don't
They're
do
big on the
anything.
prayers
Yeah.
because
Yeah, prayers are pretty big.
There's a lot in Sigmar.
In Sigmar, yeah.
I don't know why they don't.
Sigmar,
I don't
yeah.
know why they don't change it to like guard orders though. I think that's what it should be. I think it should just be
Similar,
you
though,
do
right?
this.
Or
Yeah,
do
but you
have
have
a
to
selection
roll.
of them. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't
You have
like
to
that
roll,
at all.
and yeah, you have a very narrow selection that you can make. So it's like I have, in my case, I have 9 different powers to choose from.
Is
I
the
can pick
force
one.
multiplication of the prayer, is it higher than like a guard order though?
Well, +1 to wound is pretty big.
Yeah, but that's only in melee.
You can. There's a.
That's far bigger than anything guard.
There's a prayer
That's-
from.
that's
There's
not
a prayer to
true.
give some neg 1 to hit.
Those are both better.
There's
than
a prayer to give it +1 to
orders.
hit.
in shooting. Yep.
yeah.
Those literally are all better than guard orders.
No, not the +1
I don't
to hit.
know. First
Because
fire,
you
second
have
fire is
an
pretty
order
crazy.
to double tap, which is way
Yeah.
better than if you give guardsman +1 to hit. It
Is
literally
it? Is it
Yeah.
mathematically?
Oh, it's better.
Because you're getting 20. I mean, you get 36
It takes your
shots.
it takes your max amount of possible hits and makes it your hit
Sure, the
average.
bell curve is different, but like on average, like is it?
Yes. Yeah, because it takes your max amount average of hits and makes it your hit average. Even if you change it from a 4 up to a 3 up, that does not become your hit average. Your maximum
how
amount
many
of
hits
shots
do you
does
get
not
with,
become your hit
I
average.
mean, you if you're in rapid fire range, you get
you get so
you get
for
18 shots without. You know what I mean? How many of those do you hit on threes?
out of 18.
Yeah.
You miss 6, so you get 12. But if you get 36 shots, you hit 18.
Yeah, I got you.
So
Okay,
even if
we're-
you're hitting on 2s, it's
we're,
always better
Right,
to
but
have
it's
double
still
the
better
shots.
in the aggregate than the other ones.
We're running
know what I
over
mean?
on time, guys.
Yeah.
So really quick, how much longer do you think before we see that big FAQ?
I think
Holy
maybe
crap, it's
either-
April.
Yeah.
This weekend or next weekend.
Yeah,
I don't see why they couldn't do it this
just a
weekend.
little bit longer because I think they're going to need more time than that to incorporate Adepticon.
I would
feedback.
I'd give us a week or 2, yeah.
However,
because they're going to
Adepticon
look at what
didn't
happened
have.
at Adepticon.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
Adepticon
be a
didn't
whole
have
lot
like
of-
egregious stuff happening this year. So,
Yeah, not that I know of.
so anyway,
heard of it.
I think that's about all the time we have for tonight.
All right, guys, thanks for all
Listen.
your comments. It made it a lot
Yeah.
easier to talk. Thanks for listening to us ramble on about Legion, but we're super pumped.
Yep.
We'll be next week with episode 46. We're coming up on 50.
37. He's off to just a little bit.
Unbelievable. All right, guys, thank you, and
Senility.
we'll see you next week. Love you.
Later, y'all.